The expedition was a disaster. The monsters were waiting for you. Their ambush, sudden and violent. Your companions murdered. You were left to die of your injuries. They should have killed you when they had the chance. Now, you will gather your strength and you will find your way. Craft a weapon from whatever scraps you can find and you will make them pay, because your soul remains unbroken. A game designed for one player, on average, your quest for vengeance and freedom will take about 20 to 30 minutes to complete. The goal of the game is to make your way through 4 levels, while at the end of each level, you'll be encountering an enemy. If you can make it to the end of the 4th level and defeat the enemy that awaits you, while also not starving to death, you win the game. To set up the game, you'll want to separate out all the cards by card type, and you'll want to shuffle only the skill and encounter decks. Skills are going to be abilities that will benefit you that you'll primarily gain throughout your journey by defeating enemies. Encounter cards represent obstacles that you'll be facing throughout your journey. You'll then want to take the condition cards and place them face down. These represent detrimental effects that you may gain throughout your journey. You'll then want to take the bare hands and place that face up in the active weapon slot. This will be your starting weapon for the game, and then you'll want to take all the remaining weapons and place them just below that. These are different weapons that you might be able to craft throughout your journey. Next, you want to take all the monster cards and group them with the level 1 monsters on the top and the level 4 monsters on the bottom. And then, you want to place your 2 tracker sheets in front of you. For the resource tracker, you want to set all of their values to 0, as this is going to be the various resources that you'll be able to gain throughout the game. For the effort tracker, you want to start small effort at 13 for a normal game, and 0 for the medium and large effort. Now, effort's going to be your main currency that you're going to be able to use to combat enemies in the game, and it's also going to represent your health. For the time tracker, you want to start this at 7. This is going to represent how much time you have in a level until the enemy attacks you. And then for the enemy tracker, you want to start the armor and health values at 0. And lastly, you want to select what character you want to use and place 1 token on their ability tracker. And now, we're ready to play the game. The game is played over the course of 4 levels, where in each level, you begin with the travel phase, in which you collect resources and prepare yourself for the coming battle, and then you enter the combat phase where you encounter a monster. Should you survive your encounter with the monster, you'll then progress to the next level. If you defeat the monster on the 4th level and manage to not starve to death in the process, you then win the game. Now, if at any point in time you need to spend effort but you don't have any effort to spend, your character immediately dies and you lose the game. Let's take a closer look at the travel phase. What's nice about this game is it comes with 2 reference sheets, one for each phase of the game, so you can follow along if you forget what to do next. So the travel phase starts with the preparation phase, where you take as many general or travel actions as you want. The actions available to you can be found on the actions guide, your character sheet, or any of the skills that you might potentially have. Generally, actions consist of spending a resource to then upgrade to another resource. This might be higher value resources, or it could be potentially even upgrading your weapon. Once you performed all the actions that you want, you now have a decision to make. Do you want to fight the monster immediately, or do you want to move on to the exploration step? This is an important decision because if you run out of time on the level that you're exploring, the monster will then ambush you and you will be at a disadvantage in combat. But if you decide to go on to the exploration step, you will then reveal 2 encounter cards. You'll choose one of the encounter cards to resolve and discard the other. To resolve the card, you can either perform the exchange listed on the card. This typically involves spending 1 resource to gain a different type of resource, or you can choose to rest, where you'll gain a number of small effort equal to the time value that's listed on that card. Either choice that you make, you then move on to the next step, where you lose the amount of time that's listed on that card. If you happen to lose out of time, you'll then enter the combat phase. If you don't run out of time, then you get to do it all over again. Once you enter the combat phase, if you haven't revealed the enemy yet, you'll want to roll the 6-sided die to decide what enemy you'll be facing in that level. Select the enemy, and then you're ready to enter combat. So combat consists of you and the enemy taking turns attacking one another. You'll spend effort and other resources to attack the enemy, and they'll be rolling the 6-sided die to determine what attack they'll be doing to you. Combat ends when either the enemy reaches 0 health, or you have no more effort left to spend. If you happen to be victorious, you then collect all the rewards listed on the bottom of the enemy, and then you enter the hunger step. For whatever level that you're on, you'll need to eat that amount of food. If you don't have that number of food, you'll then need to spend effort to compensate for that lack of food. If you starve to death here and end up having no more effort, you die again. But if you live another day, then proceed to the next level and carry on with your journey. And that, my friends, is Unbroken in a nutshell. What I really enjoy about this game is how much character progression there is in such a short amount of time. Because you literally start with just your bare hands, and by the end of the game, you have all these weapons and different skills at your disposal. So that's all I have for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, so long, farewell.